Hey friends, I am back with another what sold video. So if you want to see what sold, stay tuned.
Small, now we roll, watch the empire rise, flipping churches, catching eyes, no surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.
Friends, it is Stephanie with 3 Queens Resell, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am a full-time fashion reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and eBay, and I sell pre-owned women's, kids, men's clothing, shoes, and accessories. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in learning how to start, grow a reselling business, this is the channel for you. This is a what sold video, and what sold is actually more important than what I'm picking up, because you need to know what's selling right now and for how much, so that you know what to look for at the thrift store. So this past week, I started incorporating into all of my listings hashtags, which I hadn't been doing. And so I'm hopefully going to see how that starts to impact sales 2 to 3, 4 weeks out. So I'm going to share with you what sold. This is the 3rd week of September. I am going to let you know my numbers for the 2nd week of September. I did not do a what sold video for that week. I am trying to get caught up, and I figured let's just start with this week, and so that I can stop being stressed out about it. But week 2, the goal was to get to $802 in sales. That was what I had sold in week 1, but we only made it to $751.87. That's after all cost of goods, platform fees, shipping, all the things. That is what went into my pocket. We had 94 out of 300 sales, so the goal was to get to 300 by the end of the month, and we're at 94 as of the end of last week. And the goal also was to walk home with $3,000 in our pocket this month from reselling, and we're halfway there, a little over halfway, with $1,554.64. So this week we're starting with September 3rd. No, I forgot we start on Saturdays now. September 14th. So I'm going to go through what sold, how long it had been listed, what platform that it sold for, and any like shipping discounts or anything. For eBay, I'm taking the suggestion of one of my viewers just to tell you how much I made, but you will still see all the fees come out because I want to be fully transparent. I know a lot of people, when they do their what sold, let you know for how much the item, the order total was. But the order total, you only get to take home like about half of that, 60% of that. So that really, really skews your numbers if you don't do the net amount. So I'm going to tell you guys the net amount so that you have a better understanding of what you can expect when you are selling like items. So without further ado, let's do this. Starting with September 14th. It was a Saturday. We had 4 sales. The first one was on Poshmark, this Market and Spruce cardigan sweater, extra large, polka dot. I actually picked it up to sell on Whatnot, but then I decided I wasn't going to do Whatnot. And then we took a break from that, and then after Posh Fest, we're doing 1 Posh show a week, but this had already been listed, and it sold on September 9th, so in just 5 days. I took an offer for $15. After the $3 in fees, I was left with 12. And those Nordstrom house brands like Market and Spruce, I tend to, that's about the price point for that item. I don't tend to get very much more for them. So even though I only had it listed for 5 days, I think I had it listed for 25. I would have liked at least 18, but I've got $12 in my pocket and I'm ready to move on. Next up on Depop, we had this North Face Capri dark blue size large crop-like pants. And these sold for $24 after all of the fees. Those had been listed since August 20th. Next up on eBay, we had this Vineyard Vines slub funnel neck shep shirt, gray, size large. That had only been listed since August 29th, and we had $17.61 in profit for that one. The next item, the final item on Saturday, was this We the Free short sleeve pullover pink, size extra small. We had this since July 27th of 2023, so over a year, and it was one of our 60% off items on eBay. We do progressive sales, and after doing a podcast with some other resellers and hearing their markdown brands, a lot of people don't keep things even over 90 days. We have plenty of storage, so I'm okay with it, but I do want to move those older items out so we can out with the old, in with the new. Really, ideally, I want things selling in 30 days or less, but definitely within 90 days. So we made a profit after all of the fees of $4.13 on this. All of these items were bins pick up, so our cost of goods was only $3.58. The total for the day for those 4 items was $57.74, and the average sale price was under our goal of at $14.44. We want to be shooting for that $15 to $20 price point, and so we were a little off this week. And so that brings our monthly totals to $98 or 98 items sold. The goal is 300, and a total of $1,612.38 in the bank, and our goal is 3,000. Moving on to Sunday, we had a total of 8 sales, and so the first one, we'll do Poshmark first. I just have an order of how I write them down, friends. This is the Atasa Elba men's sweater, size extra large. It was 100% cashmere. It had been listed since June 4th. I am picking up those knit pieces. Make sure you inspect your wool and cashmere blends for micro holes. If they do have micro holes, you can still pick them up. Let me adjust myself in my chair. I was like sliding down. You can still pick them up, friends, but you need to disclose those micro holes and kind of show them where they are, and if you can, how big they are. So that item sold for $27 on Poshmark. After the $5.40 in shipping or in fees, I was left with $21.60, and that was a bins pick up. Next up was this Patagonia trucker hat. This was the P6 logo. It was also a bins pick up, and it had been listed since July 30th. It sold for $15. After the $3 in fees, I was left with $12. Super lightweight, probably cost less than $1 in our bins haul. Next up is a brand that I don't find that often, but whenever I do find it, especially in larger sizes, I pick it up. It's the brand Fresh Produce, and this maxi dress, this was a size small. Blue sold size small, blue. It sold for $19. After the $3.80 in fees, I was left with $15.20, and that had been listed since August 6th, so just over a month. Next up on eBay, we have this Catherine Melodrino horse print novelty blouse, size large. And friends, this was beautiful. And I just watched another reseller. I can't think of her name, but if I do, I will put it on the screen. I was watching her videos, and she was saying novelty prints always sell quick of animals. And I'm like, they do. Like, when I heard that, I was like, I do. They do. Whenever I find something with a novelty print of like birds, squirrels, rabbits, it always sells. So definitely look for that when you are outsourcing. But this one sold, I profited on eBay $16.55. And of course, like I mentioned, you can see all the numbers on the screen, from the order total, the shipping, the fees, and taxes. So I know I used to mention all those, but maybe it'll be a little less confusing if you guys just look at it and I tell you what I actually brought home. Next up on eBay was the Stella & Dot pullover stripe top, size 2XL. So I picked this up for two reasons. One, it is Stella & Dot, which is like a catalog, like house party brand. I'm not even sure that you can just go into the store and buy them. I think you have to be invited to a party. And then secondly, it was plus size, and I had never seen a Stella & Dot. Like, I very rarely see Stella & Dot clothing items, but I've never seen a plus size one. So that's why I picked it up. It had been listed since July 14th, and I profited $17.40 on eBay. Next up was this kind of novelty brand, this CC Mary Script knit sweater, red size 1X. So friends, a new side hustle that I have is TikTok shop. I actually have been on TikTok for over a year, just kind of like lurking and, you know, doing my thing. And then I started doing a lot of Poshmark content over there and reseller content, and of course political content, which will probably disperse here in the next 50 days. But just kind of building a community over on TikTok as well. And so I was in the TikTok shop, like just looking for things to like showcase to my viewers. And this Mary Script sweater was in there. So I, of course, did not order one to share because I was like, I could have just used the one I had. But so this one sold for $20, and well, I profited $20.71, and it was like in the TikTok shop for like $36. So but there's always coupons and stuff, but I just found that super interesting. Like maybe someone bought it last year and wore it, and then I found it in the bins and am I reselling it. So that speaks to the quality of it, that I thought it was good enough to resell. But it was also a plus size, and I've been picking up those holiday pieces so that I can get them listed ahead of the holidays. And then I mentioned it had only been listed since July 30th. So super quick. Next up were these Spanx pants, black size extra large. I picked these up back when I was doing Goodwills. From time to time, I'll get into this thing where I pop into Goodwills. I'm primarily a bins seller because the Goodwill, I think, is so overpriced. But you can, there's different strategies to reselling. I just choose to go to the bins because it's so close to my house. But definitely, I get good things out of the Goodwill as well. And these Spanx pants were one of them. I actually picked up 2 or 3 pair of them, but they sold for $45.59. And if I'm sourcing from a regular Goodwill, I want to pick up things that are going to hit that $35 and above price point, because the Goodwill, my margins are lower. So they had only been listed since July 27th. And so, yeah, those guys are out the door. So the total for the week, we had 3 sales on Poshmark for $48.80. eBay, we had 3 sales for the day. I'm sorry, I said week. For the day, we had 3 sales for $54.66. And then Depop was the winner for the day with 2 sales for $76.08. Bringing my daily total to $179.54 for the 8 items. The average sale price was $22.44. Yay! And our cost of goods was just at $12. So our weekly total is $237.28. We've sold 106 items this month. And then we've made $1,791.92 this month. That is after all fees. Moving on to Monday, September 16th, we had 6 sales. So 2 of them, well, I'll just go through. So Poshmark, we have this Zara 2-piece set, and it's cream. Matching sets are in right now, so if you can find a 2-piece coordinated set, snatch it up. Probably had I realized those were trending, I would not have taken this offer, but I had this only since January 1st. It sold for $13. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $10.05. Next on Poshmark, we had sold these soft surrounding short sleeve mini dress. I felt it coming, but I couldn't. Size extra large, and it had this beautiful like tie-dye multicolor print. It had been listed since July 1st. It sold for $17. After the $3.40 in fees, I was left with $13.60. Then next up on Poshmark, we sold these Liverpool maternity belly coverage jeans, size 6. They were the ankle skinny, and they sold for $15. After the $3 in fees, I was left with $12. So we used to do maternity auctions. I don't do maternity auctions anymore, so I'm kind of just selling through my maternity pieces, and I'm only picking up like really good maternity pieces to list because the sell-through rate isn't very good, and I just want to be more mindful of what we pick up and list. But yeah, those have been listed since May 2nd. Next up, on eBay, we had these Judy blue boyfriend fit jeans, size 32. After all the taxes and fees, I was left with $17.71. Those have been listed since August 10th, so just over a month. And then the next two items I want to discuss have to do with our auction strategy. So I have tinkered with auctions off and on for the past 2 years. And I was on Whatnot, off Whatnot, on Posh shows, off Posh shows. And then this summer I did a lot of shows, and I was starting to build a following up, but my health was just not cooperating. And I could realize that I could not successfully do YouTube, list, and do live auctions daily, and be a functioning human and a wife and a mother. So what I decided to do was no auctions. I was like, and after discussing it with my husband, we were like going to not do auctions and just redirect our energy to listing more. And then I went to Posh Fest. That whole idea lasted like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. Then I went to Posh Fest, and I met lots of poshers, a lot of them who only do lives, a lot of them who don't do lives at all, but then some who do a combo of. And I was talking to Manish, who is like the big guy at Poshmark, and one of the tech guys, and I was mentioning that my sales had been down, and that I'm listing, and I kind of am getting like frustrated and disheartened. And he's like, do you do Posh shows? And I was like, oh, I don't want to do lives again. I don't want to do that. And basically they both talked me into doing Posh shows again, because they talk about how the algorithm, well, they didn't say the word algorithm, but basically, you know, I can put 2 and 2 together. The traffic created by people coming into your Posh show brings traffic to your closet, and essentially the more traffic to your closet, if you have good things in there, the increased number of sales that you get. So it's not an algorithm thing, it's a traffic thing. Okay, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try. I'm going to come back to it for a week, for just doing it 1 day a week. So I am doing Posh shows every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's it. So all of those items are listed into my closet using the Smart List AI generator, which if you haven't seen a video about it, I'll link mine up above. But because it is how I can quickly photograph the items and get them listed into the Smart List and onto Poshmark. And so that's what I've been doing to run my Posh shows. Items that don't sell in the Posh show, I then use List Perfectly from Poshmark. I use my List Perfectly to put them, transfer them to eBay. So they are now listed on Poshmark and eBay and could sell. On eBay, they're all auction items. So, and they start at various price points, but those items are starting to sell. And then the next Posh Show week, I'll bring them back out and I'll run them again. And if someone buys them, I'll cancel them on eBay. If it has bids on it, they will not go back into the Posh Show. I know that is a long, like, detailed explanation to talk about these next two items. But, so that way it gives me an opportunity. Like, I just hated the idea of I was spending all this time, like, creating listings for items and then they didn't sell, but they weren't listed anywhere else. This way they are listed on Poshmark and they are listed on eBay. So when they run in the Posh Show, if they don't sell, they go to eBay. Then the next week I started with another 50 items. I ran the new fresh 50 first, and then I brought out the ones that didn't sell from last week and ran those as well. But I have started to get sales from those items from the eBay auctions, and this is two of them. First up was this airy brown new tag V-neck t-shirt, size extra small. I profited $1.93 off of that, which I'm tweaking with the prices. I think I started it at $1, so I made some money on shipping. The lowest we're starting things now is $3, just because we want to make more money. But you know, we want to make it worth our time. And then this other pair, I did start at $1, and somehow the profit is only 42 cents. I don't know why. It has to probably do something with shipping. But for the week, so those were all of my sales. For the week, I keep saying for the week. For the day, for Monday, on Poshmark, we had 3 sales at $35.65. eBay, 3 sales at $20.06. The total was $55.71 for the 6 items, and our average sale price is way down to $9.29 because of those auction items. I'm hoping like that as I try this, and I did commit to myself to do all of the Fridays until the end of the year, and then if I think it's helping my Poshmark closet, we'll continue into 2025. My God, I can't even believe. Then maybe even add a day, another show, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Right now, and in order for me to be adding a show, we would need to be selling out in the first show. The cost of goods for all those items was about $10. And then for the week, the weekly total grew to $292.99. We're up to 112 items for the month sold, and we're up to $1,847.63, which brings me 62% to my monthly goal, and we're halfway through the month. Next up is Tuesday, September 17th. We had 5 sales. So first up, and typically Tuesdays are slow for me. This Veronica Beard Emery Plaid ruched zipper dress, size 6. She sent an offer, she rescinded it. The next day she sent another offer, she rescinded it. And then finally the third day she sent an offer, and I thought she would rescind it again, so I kind of waited, but then we accepted it. And I felt like this was a generous acceptance. So this was, I made $75 off of this dress. And Veronica Beard is very expensive, high-end designer. So, but certain of her pieces do not get the traction that you would think they would. I would go with dresses and blazers and career wear. I haven't seen any of her knit wear, but that probably does well also. But this sold for $75. We had $15 in fees, which left us with $60. It had been listed since October 4th of 2023. So we were coming up on a year, and that was actually the first serious offer that I'd had in a year's time. Next up on Poshmark was this Spartina long sleeve pullover size large blue. This was a bins pickup, and it had been listed since November 17th of 23. So almost a year for that as well. It sold for $16 after the $3.20 in fees. I was left with $12.80. Spartina is more known for their accessories, their purses, totes, leather goods. And so I thought this would be a good item to pick up because of the name recognition, but clothing just doesn't do the same. Next up was this Columbia Men's Stein's Mountain 2.0 full zip fleece. It sold on eBay. It had been listed since December 19th of 23, and our profit was $10.61. Friends, there is a ton of Columbia on eBay, and there is a ton of Columbia in the bins, and I can easily sell similar and list a Columbia piece in less than a minute. So I'm going to keep picking it up. It's just one of those bread and butter things that I can count on flipping. It's part of that core outdoor wear aesthetic, cabin core aesthetic. And while it doesn't make a lot of money, it does flip pretty. This one didn't, it took a while, but generally I have lots of Columbia North Face that move pretty quickly. Next up were these Naturalizer comfortable block heel shoes, size 11. They had been listed on eBay since November 20th, and we had a profit of $11.36. They were on sale, I believe, 40 or 50% off. And then finally on eBay, we had this Lafayette 148 blazer olive green and brown, sell for $20.32. It had been relisted on February 19th. However, no, February 19th of 23. It's been listed that long. So we're over a year, like a year and a half. It just was not a good color combo. Sometimes you swing and miss, but I was glad to get $20.32 off of it. It was on sale for 60% off in our eBay closet. So for the day, Poshmark, we had $72.80 for the 2 items. Then on eBay, we had $42.29 for the 3 items, bringing our daily total to $115.09. Our cost of goods was at $23.02. I'm sorry, our average sale price was at $23.02. Our cost of goods was at $12. For the week, we're at $408.08, and we are at 117 items sold out of 300 is our goal. And then we are at $1,962.72, which is 65% of our monthly goal. So Wednesday, here we go. First up on Poshmark, we have these Breeze Casual Loafers Blue, size 8 wide. They had been listed since March 21st. Those were a bins pickup. They sold for $21. After the $4.20 in fees, I was left with $16.80. Then also on Poshmark, we have these Clark Artisan open toe sandals, size 8.5. They had been listed since November 3rd of 2023, so almost a year. They sold for $9. After the $2.95 in fees, we were left with $6.05. Then next up, we have these soft surrounding elastic waistband jeans. They were a size extra large petite. They have been listed since April of 2022, and they sold for $7.16. Then on eBay, they were at a 60% off. This next item was also at 60% off on eBay. This Alex Evening 2-piece set black, size extra large. It's sold for $12.59. And the Alex evening things can sell well and quickly. I think it is just a matter of when you get those listed. And I really feel like now that we are focusing on adding those hashtags, maybe they're more likely to get picked up in search and sell a little quicker and for more money. Next up on Depop, we have this soft surrounding V-neck tunic, white and green, size 2X. It had been listed since July 7th of 2023, so a little over a year, and we profited $10.42. Also on Depop, we have this American Eagle flannel top, size extra large. It had been listed since August 24th, and we made a profit of $18.63. And so far, everything that I've said has been a bins pickup. Next up on Depop, we have this We the Free top, V-neck peach. It sold, we had a profit of $6.97. It had been listed since February 20th. Of the Free People brands, We the Free seems to be the least profitable. I'm gonna still pick it up because it's Free People and it does do well in auctions and can flip kind of quickly in auctions, but it'll probably be more of a live auction brand for me. Next up on Mercari, we have this new tag Adidas TLRD Move Training High Speed High Support Sports Bra, size 2X. We made a profit of $15.91 on that one. Remember, Mercari does not have any fees for the seller right now. So make sure if you're not listing on Mercari, you jump on that. You do get a lot of people who try to make offers with you, but for the most part, if you price competitively, give yourself a little room for those offers, you'll be fine. Then also on Poshmark, we have this Free People washed away flannel pullover, size small. It had been listed since June 30. It just sold outright. It was not part of the 40% off sale and on Poshmark. So it sold for $30. After the $6 in fees, I was left with $24. Then we had these Nike Athletic Legendary leggings, size small. They have been listed since August 3rd of 2023. And they sold for $11 after the $2.95 in fees. We made $8.05, and those were part of the 40% off sale. Next up, these Universal Thread New Tag Mules, size 7.5, sold for $7. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $4.05. They had been listed since March 21st. I decided to let those go because Universal Threads is its Target brand, and I picked them up at the bins and they had gotten no attention. So I'm like, psh, you can have them. And I'm really like staying away from that type of stuff unless it's direct to auction. Next up was this Eddie Bauer black trench coat, size medium. As soon as this sold, it sold for full price on Mercari, but since it already sold it on Poshmark, I let it go. So it sold for $14 on Poshmark. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $11.05, and this was part of the 40% off sale. I know I could have made more money, but it had been listed since September 7th of 2023. And I think we'd already like printed labels and stuff, so I just went with it. This next item is out of my closet, so I don't have the date, but I know it was a bins pickup. It was this La Tigra knit sweater, size extra large, fresh out of my closet. It was listed for some reason, so maybe it was listed and then I pulled it from something to wear, and then I just folded it up and put it in my closet. But it was part of the 40% off sale. It sold for $11 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $8.05. Then these mini Bowden pajama bottoms, girls size 14, also sold on Poshmark as part of our 40% off sale. They've been listed since April 27th. As you guys know, with clothing, I take it to the consignment shop. With kids clothing, I take it to the kids consignment shop. If it does not sell, then I have been listing it on Poshmark and eBay. We'll probably start listing it on Mercari as well. Not so much Depop. We don't sell very many kids things over there, but just price to move. But yeah, we got an offer for $5. After the $2.95 in fees, we were left with $2.05. Next up were these Fendi Heels Gold Velvet size 6.5. These were a pickup, a bins pickup. They have been listed since March 9th of 23, so over a year, like 18 months. I had them priced much higher, but in the 40% off sale, they sold for $30. After the $6 in fees, I made $24. Fendi is a very high-end designer. It's just not what people are looking for right now. And so I got them at the bins. I'd rather take the $24, reinvest, and move on. Next up were these Nike athletic cropped sweatpants gray. They sold on Mercari, and we profited $13.50. They had been listed since August 29th. And then the last thing to sell on Wednesday was this eBay sale, this J. Jill Everyday Linen Button-Down Purple, size medium. After all of the taxes, fees, shipping, we profited $25.07. So 18 items might be my biggest day ever. And so we definitely want to keep up that energy moving forward. Sometimes running a big clearance out sale like that lets you know, gives you the possibility. It tests your systems. It tests your shipping systems. Can you really handle shipping out, you know, 15 to 20 items daily? And it also tests your inventory system. We had some older items, things from 2022, to make sure that, yeah, they were still in the box right where they should be. So for the week, let me give you the numbers for the day for the platforms. Poshmark, we had 10 sales, most of them coming from that 40% off, which with sending out offers on 800 items, I was hoping for more like 25 sales, but maybe we'll do it again next week. So on Poshmark, we had $116.90 for those 10 items. eBay, we had 3 sales for $44.82. Depop, we had 3 sales for $36.02. And Mercari, we had 2 sales for $29.41, bringing the total for the day to $227.15 for the 18 items, and the average sale price to $12.62. So definitely shy of that goal of $15, but you're gonna expect that when you do a clearance sale. And the cost of goods for all of those 18 items was $26.85. So for the week, we are at $635.26. We are at 135 items sold for the month, so at about 45% of the goal. And then we are at $2,189.87 for our monthly goal, about 73% towards our goal of $3,000. Then moving on to Thursday, a much slower day, but still quite profitable. So Thursday, we're gonna start off with Poshmark. We sold this loft velvet blazer, blue, size 7. It probably was like more like a crushed velour, but it felt velvety. It had been listed since January 1. It was actually a holdover from the sale on Wednesday. It sold for $13 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $10.05. Then on Poshmark, we had a bundle sale. So the first piece was this Alan Flessner cashmere quarter zip pull-over sweater. It is also part of our sell-through Sunday experiment, which video forthcoming, I promise. I have all the stats. But it sold along with this Joan Rivers shift dress size large. That Joan Rivers piece had been listed since July 5th. So both of the items sold for $45. After the fees of $9, I was left with $36. Then on Mercari, we have these Levi Strauss 511 denim jeans, size 34-30. The black, they sold for $15, or the profit was $15 on those. Next up on eBay, we have these Jean Erica straight leg jeans, size 30. This is a new to me brand, but they had been listed since May 2nd, and they sold for I profited $38.12 on eBay for those. So I will definitely look for that brand of denim again, because I'm trying to put more denim in my store, but definitely the denim that is going to sell for a little bit more. Next up on eBay, this Adidas full zip hooded sweatshirt, gray, size extra large, sold for 50% off. And it had been listed since October 13th of 2023, so almost a year. And we profited $11.76. Then on eBay, we have this Juicy Couture velour cream hooded full zip jacket. I thought this would sell on Depop because it's more like Y2K. I searched and searched and searched for the bottoms because I wanted the complete set in the bins, but it was just the top. And so it had been listed since July 30th, and I profited $13.26 on that. And then finally on Thursday, a cat lady had to have this Gap cat sweater, gray, size medium. This had been listed since July 7th. It sold on Mercari for $13.16. So the total for the day was Poshmark $46.05 for 2 sales, Mercari $28.16 for 2 sales, eBay $63.14 for 3 sales, and then $137.35 total. And the average cost of goods, or the average sale price, was $19.62. The cost of goods total was $5 or $10. For the week, we are at $772.61. We're at 142 items sold this month. The goal was 300, so we're 47%. And then the amount of money in my pocket so far this month, $2,327.22. And that brings us to 77.5% of our goal. Then we move into our last day of our What Sold video, Friday. We ended strong this week with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sales. So we had 12, I guess I had it right here, 12 sales. So let's start with this first one on Poshmark, the Judith March mini dress, size small. I woke up to an offer on this, and whenever I get an offer, I check to see how many likes that I have, and there weren't any other likes. It had been listed since January 1st, so I took the $20 offer. After $4 in fees, I was left with $16. Next up was this Vince Camuto sleeveless tank top, cream size medium. It had been listed since November 23rd of 2022. Vince Camuto, we've sold 3 of those. 3 Vince, I'm not sure if they were all Vince Camuto. I believe they all were. 3 items this month or this week. And they've all been older items. So that's just a brand that I think Vince and Vince Camuto are different. Vince Camuto, I think we're going to just, they may have quality pieces, but that is going to be more of a Posh Show brand. But it sold for $8 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $5.05. Then on our Posh show, it just was not a good Posh show, friends. We only had one sale. We had, let me get the stats. So from the Posh show, I was on 1 hour and 26 minutes. We had 207 people come through. The highest at any point was 9 in the room. And we only had one sell to one buyer. So we were down from our last week. So maybe I just didn't, I had a lot of knit pieces. I'm trying to have a good mix of sizes extra small up to through plus sizes. Next week's Posh show will be a lot of knit and denim. So definitely I'll link it in the description below, but come and check me out. Even if it's just to say hi and let me know that you're a YouTube subscriber, that makes me so happy, friends. It makes me happier, almost as happy as making sales. So come and say hi and yeah, see what we have in the show. Typically like $8 starts. And I know people are starting things a lot lower, but I'm not. I need to make more money. But yeah, we only had the one sale, but it was this Fashion Nova set, pink 2XL, new at tag, and it sold for $8. After the $2.95 in fees, I profited $5.05. But so all of the items from the Posh show, the other, I think I had like 48 items. So the other 47 have already been listed to eBay, and hopefully some of them will sell over the course of the week. If not, though, I will run those again at the end of the show after I run the items in the tray. Next up was this Ula Pukan shawl, knit shawl. It has been listed since May 6th of 23. It sold for $10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $7.05, and that one was an offer as well. Next up was this White House Black Market pink cold shoulder sweater, size medium, on eBay, and it sold, or we profited, $4.52. It had only been listed since February 20th. Well, not only, that's been a while, since February 20th. But cold shoulder styles are not all the rage like they used to be. Next up on eBay, we had this Savon new at tag hiking shorts, beige, size 38. They have been listed since August 26th, and we had a profit of $17.85. Next up on eBay was this Levi's Denizen new at tag reversible leather belt. So it was black on one side, brown on the other. I love a reversible belt because then you don't need a bunch of other belts. You can just have the one. It had been listed since February 29th. That was a bins pickup, and we profited $6.20 on that on eBay. And so it was on sale, probably like 30%. Next up was this Talbot's Tweed Blazer, pink size 1X. This was the Quick Flip Award. It sold in under a week on eBay, and we had a profit of $17.78. That was also a bins pickup. This We The Free thermal waffle knit top, size extra small. Oh, I was like thinking of something else. It had been listed since August 17th of 2023. It sold on a 60% off offer on eBay. Well, it's not an offer, it's our sale, so it's marked down. For our profit on that was $4.60. Then we had another Vince Camuto item, this new at tag pink sweater, size small, sell on eBay. It had been listed since May 4th of 2023, and after all the fees, we profited $4.89. Then on eBay, we had this American, and I might not even have a picture of it. I should though. We had this American Eagle cardigan sweater. I don't have a date on it, but this was its second week running on auction. It didn't sell on auction, but it did sell on the eBay auction. So that was very confusing. It didn't sell on my Posh show when I reran it again. So it ran 2 weeks in a row. But after the first week, I had listed it on auction on eBay, and it did sell there. It was listed for $5. After all the fees, I profited $121. I would have profited more had I done shipping right, but I lost a few bucks in that. And then on eBay, we have this airy V-neck t-shirt gray, also selling at auction. And after all the fees, I profited $1.45 on that as well. So we will figure that out. We will start moving that stuff at a little higher. But the total for Poshmark was $33.15 for 4 items and $58.50 on eBay for 8 items. The average sale price was $7.64, and then the cost of goods was $12 for all of the items sold. So to end out week 3, we are at $864.26. So we crushed week 1's number, September week 1, which was, let me see, go back and see in my notebook. In my notes here, was 802. So, and then we are at 154 sales for the month. The goal is 300, so we're at 51% of our goal. And we are at $2,418.87, which is at 81% of our monthly goal for money in our pocket. So that is it. If you like what sold, be sure to give me a follow, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite sale of the week and how your sales are going. And now that I'm caught up on what sold videos, friends, I'm going to stay caught up for the rest of the year. So be sure to follow me, subscribe for other reseller content, and I will see you in the next one.
Catching eyes, no surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.